Now we would want to listen the journalist Norbert Fleischer.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to explain to you why Germany is complicit in the hunger of around 2 million children and thousands of deaths in Yemen. Above all, the necessary for the development, education and care of children have been destroyed, including private homes, hospitals, schools and food water supply. Germany bears joint responsibility for every destroyed child biography. It's obvious, as we'll see in the next few minutes. I would like to introduce you to Faisal bin Ali Jaber. He's an engineer from Yemen, and with a lawsuit against the Federal Republic of Germany, he has achieved that the circumstances, which I would now like to describe to you, could soon change. Let us now consider the legal situation and political reality that's important to know. Due to German history, Angela Merkel would be forbidden to take part in military adventures of the USA and their allies, but contrary to the legal situation, Germany sells weapons to warlike nations like Saudi Arabia. Germany has recently increased its arms exports by 13%, and with a share of 6.4%, it's the world's fourth largest arms seller, followed by China. Although our basic law already prescribes that international law is about any German laws, Frau Merkel involves the Bundeswehr without a UN mandate in the war against Syria, for example. Most serious for the situation in Yemen and the Middle East, however, are the US military operations planned and carried out by from German soil. Next slide, please. Let's have a closer look at the weapons. On this picture, you can see a patrol boat manufactured in Germany, which is currently being delivered to Saudi Arabia's Coast Guard. German boats like these are used to seal off Yemen from many aid deliveries. How can that be? A multitude of laws and rules that forbid selling weapons to combatants that violate international law are proving increasingly ineffective. I've listed the most important of these here. Next slide, please. Between the 1st of January and 5th of June of this year, the federal government issued 122 export licenses for military equipment worth 1.1 billion euros in these states. This is almost twice the volume that it was 2 years ago, when restrictions on arms exports to the war alliance did not yet exist. Exceptions are cited as reasons for this. Even more problematic than current arms exports from Germany are licenses that have already been issued and cannot be revoked. Although the sale of small arms like assault rifles to states such as Saudi Arabia has recently been banned, this does almost nothing to change the banned use of German weapons against Yemeni children. In 2008, for example, Saudi Arabia was granted a license to produce the G36 assault rifles, among others. In the meantime, however, these weapons have emerged in the Yemen conflict. Today, the kingdom also produces ammunition for this rifle itself. The German armaments group Rheinmetall and South African company Denel have found a common joint venture which, according to a report by the official Saudi news agency SPA, opened an ammunition factory in Saudi Arabia in 2016. However, only a company located in Germany is subject to German arms export control regulations. Germany's agreement with other European governments also prevent effective export controls. Last year, for example, the UK agreed with Saudi Arabia on the purchase of 48 Eurofighter jets, of whose production Germany is also involved. On the basis of an old agreement from 1986, no partner nation shall prevent the sale or approval of the sale, and so on. Next slide, please. This is the Ramstein Airbase in southwestern Germany, and it's probably the most important war hub in the world. It's the largest outside the USA. From here, not only all legal and illegal wars of aggression by the USA are supplied with weapons, ammunition, and soldiers, but most probably also warring parties belonging to the Saudi-Coalition. It would not be new that the Americans would do this from German soil, although it would violate the War Weapons Control Act. Several illegal arms transports are known. It happened in the end of 2017 that the USA used the military base in Ramstein to supply Syrian rebels with weapons, for example. It was only by chance that this arms deal became publicly known. The German government either has no knowledge of the deliveries or does not want to know. It is also worth mentioning that the affiliated military hospital treats almost all US soldiers wounded in combat. The Landstuhl Medical Center is also known to handle prohibited bioweapons, live anthrax spores, for example. On this picture, you can see what the airbase is most criticized for at the present time, but without any changes. Ramstein serves as an indispensable SATCOM relay station for US drone missions. The actual drone pilot sitting in Creech Air Force Base in the USA, it's on the left of the picture, send their control signal to Ramstein via earth and submarine cables. There, the signal is transmitted to the respective drone via satellite transmitters. Although the USA denied it for a long time, it's now known that the live images sent by the drones are also evaluated by people on Ramstein Airbase. At this point, I have to stress again that without the active looking away of the German government, the entire drone warfare, also in Yemen, would not be possible at all. Not only would the German government be obliged to prevent war crimes emanating from Ramstein, but it would also have all the technical means to do so. This is the case Faisal bin Ali Jabr. He sued the Federal Republic of Germany. On August 29th of 2013, he lost his brother-in-law Selim and his nephew Walid during a family wedding weekend in his home village, and they were all hit by a US drone, killing all of them. Later, he was given a bag with $100,000 to make amends. There was never an official excuse, and now he brought a legal action against the German government. They were calling on the government in Berlin to forbid the use of Ramstein drone strikes. The court in the second instance sentenced the Federal Republic of Germany to take appropriate measures, this is new, to ascertain whether the use of US airbase in Ramstein by the USA for drone missions takes place in accordance with international law. If necessary, the Federal Republic had to work towards compliance with international law by the USA. However, the court rejected the plaintiff's demand to generally prevent the use of Ramstein Airbase for armed drone missions. Although the federal government, which does not want to comply with its own laws, appealed immediately, one can still be confident that the Federal Administrative Court will confirm the ruling. One reason is, for example, that this man has sued the Federal Republic before Faisal bin Ali Jabr. And if this trial had taken place 2 years later, the peace activist might have been successful, because since at this time he was suing the Republic, since at this time the federal government had not yet officially admitted to know about the illegal drone operations, the court dismissed the complaint and discontinued the proceedings. In contrast to the case of bin Ali Jabr, the court did not consider the activities contrary to international law as a fact at that time, but as pure assertion by the plaintiff. If this, only persons directly affected by drone attacks could assert individual rights arising from violation of international law, directly affected persons such as the Ali Jabr family. This is why I'm quite confident that the situation might be better in the future.
Thank you very much.